Okay, let me ask you something. Have you ever had a conversation with a woman and everything seemed to be going well? She's smiling, you're smiling, but then suddenly she says, "You're really sweet, like a brother to me." Ah, yes, the infamous brother zone. Painful, humbling, spiritually enlightening, if you're into Stoicism, that is. But what if I told you that with just a few shifts in mindset, behavior, and how you carry yourself, you could go from just a friend to the man she can't stop thinking about? And no, I'm not talking about cheesy pickup lines, flexing at the gym until your biceps tear your shirt, or texting "Good morning, beautiful" to every girl in your contact list. This isn't manipulation, it's not a game, it's a philosophy, a mindset, a way of living that makes women not just attracted to you, but deeply connected to who you are. And the secret ingredient? Stoicism. Yes, ancient Roman beard-growing, robe-wearing Stoicism. I know. You're probably thinking, how can a bunch of dead philosophers help me get a date in 2025? Well, my friend, buckle up. Because once you understand how Stoicism rewires your brain, builds your self-control, and makes you 10 times more attractive, without saying a single word, you'll never chase love again. Love will chase you. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Why chasing women doesn't work, and what to do instead. You know the classic rom-com formula. Guy sees girl, guy follows girl, guy does something ridiculously desperate, girl finds it adorable. They fall in love. Yeah, that only works in movies. In real life, chasing someone like a golden retriever that just spotted a squirrel doesn't scream alpha male. It screams, "I'm insecure, and I need your attention to feel like I matter." And here's the truth. Women can smell neediness from a mile away. It's like they've got emotional radar. The moment you try too hard, push too fast, or act like she's your only source of happiness, the attraction fades. Now here's where Stoicism flips the game. Stoicism teaches you to detach from the outcome. You want her? Cool. But you don't need her. You're not chasing her validation like a dog chasing a tennis ball. You're grounded, centered, unbothered. And that right there, that calm confidence, that's attractive. Imagine this. 2 guys walk into a room. One guy walks straight up to a woman and immediately starts complimenting her, asking for her number, and basically speed running his way through an imaginary dating app in real life. The other guy? He walks in. He's calm, he's observing, he talks to his friends, laughs naturally, and eventually makes eye contact with the woman. No rush, no pressure. When he does talk to her, it's smooth, relaxed. Like she's just another human being, not a prize in a vending machine. Guess which guy she's more drawn to? Yeah, the second one. Every single time. Why? Because the second guy doesn't need her. He's in control of his emotions. He doesn't chase, he attracts. Stoicism teaches that your happiness should never depend on external things, not money, not fame, not even a woman's attention. And ironically, the moment you stop trying so hard to win her is when she starts wondering, why isn't this guy chasing me like the others? Curiosity, mystery, that's where attraction begins. Chapter 2. The power of emotional control. Let's talk emotions. You ever seen a guy get rejected at a bar and then throw a fit like a toddler who dropped his ice cream? Yeah, not attractive. Now picture another guy who gets rejected and just smiles, says no worries, and goes back to having a good time. That guy? Stoic. Stoicism isn't about not feeling emotions. It's about not being controlled by them. And when it comes to women, emotional control is your superpower. Women aren't just watching your words. They're observing how you handle pressure, stress, jealousy, and even silence. Imagine this. You text a woman. She doesn't reply for 2 days. Your brain starts spiraling. Did I say something wrong? Maybe she's talking to someone else. Should I double text, triple text? Stop. A Stoic man doesn't panic. He doesn't chase. He gives space. Why? Because he knows his worth. If she's interested, she'll come back. If not, he moves forward, unshaken. That calmness, that ability to stay emotionally centered, even when things don't go your way, that's magnetic. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a woman is testing you. You've been seeing her for a while, and out of nowhere, she says something like, "You probably talk to a lot of girls, huh?" Now, a panicked guy might stumble, over-explain, or get defensive. But a Stoic? He smiles, raises an eyebrow, and says, "You're observant, that's it, playful, confident, emotionally grounded. He's not rattled, he doesn't feel the need to explain himself, and that drives her wild, because he's not reacting, he's responding, with intention." Chapter 3. The Attractive Power of Purpose. Here's a wild idea. What if the most attractive thing about you wasn't your looks, your car, your cologne, or your Instagram? What if it was your purpose? Stoicism teaches that a man without purpose is like a ship without a rudder, lost, drifting, vulnerable to every storm. Women are drawn to men who are going somewhere. And I don't mean he's got to be the CEO of a startup or climbing Mount Everest. I mean he wakes up every day with direction, discipline, drive. Even if your goal is to open a coffee shop or become the world's best ukulele player, own it. Why? Because a man on a mission is naturally attractive. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's simply living in alignment with who he is. Let's say you ask a woman out. She asks you, "So what do you do?" And you say, "Well, I'm figuring it out, playing a lot of Call of Duty, waiting for the universe to send me a sign." Versus, "I'm working on launching a brand. It's small now, but I'm passionate about it. Keeps me on my toes." Big difference. The second guy might not be rich yet, he might not have it all figured out, but he's moving. He has vision, purpose, direction, and that creates a gravitational pull. Here's the Stoic twist. You don't live for validation. You don't pursue your purpose for her. You pursue it because it's who you are, because you do it even if no one was watching, and that's what makes her watch. Chapter 4. Your body language is speaking, louder than your words. All right, let's get something straight. You can be saying all the right things, but if your body is screaming insecurity, no one's buying what you're selling. Seriously, your body language is like a giant billboard on your forehead that reads, "Here's how I feel about myself." Slouching, you're saying, "I don't want to be seen." Fidgeting, you're saying, "I'm nervous, please like me." Avoiding eye contact, you're practically yelling, "I don't believe I'm enough." Now imagine a Stoic man walking into a room. He's not rushing, his shoulders are relaxed, chin up, not in an arrogant way, but with calm confidence. He walks like he belongs there. He doesn't puff out his chest like a rooster in a fight. He just is. His presence speaks before he even opens his mouth. And the beautiful thing is, this isn't about being tall, muscular, or genetically gifted. This is about self-awareness and posture. Let's go deeper. When you're talking to a woman, make it a point to look into her eyes, not in a creepy, "I'm trying to read your soul" kind of way, but in a calm, steady, curious way. Nod when she speaks. Tilt your head slightly when she says something interesting. Use pauses. Don't rush to fill silence. Women love when a man is comfortable in silence. It tells her you're not in a panic. You're not overcompensating. You're secure in who you are. Also, stop crossing your arms when you're talking. It's the universal signal for "I'm closed off. Please don't come closer." Instead, keep your hands visible, gestures natural, and your feet pointed toward the person you're engaging with. Simple tweaks, massive difference. Remember, Stoicism is about being grounded. When your body matches that energy, people feel it. And women? Oh, they feel it even more. Chapter 5. Speak less, say more. The art of Stoic conversation. Let's face it, some guys think the way to impress a woman is to talk non-stop about themselves, bragging, listing their resume, or going on 20-minute tangents about crypto or sports stats she didn't even ask for. Newsflash, that's not impressive, that's exhausting. Stoic men understand something powerful. Silence is golden. And when you speak, it should actually mean something. You don't need to have the funniest joke or the perfect comeback every time. What you need is intention. Let's break it down. Instead of saying, I'm really smart and ambitious, a Stoic man shows it through how he speaks and what he chooses not to say. When she talks, he listens, not just waiting for his turn to speak. Actually listens. He's present. He hears the words, the emotion behind them, the energy shift. And when he speaks, it's thoughtful, measured, calm. Let me give you a humorous but real-life example. Girl: I just got back from a yoga retreat in Bali. Guy 1: Oh yeah, I've been to Bali too. I did like 10 yoga classes there. Did you do hot yoga? I did that once and passed out. Also, their food is great. Oh, and I stayed in this dope Airbnb. Girl, mentally already in a new conversation. Now, Stoic guy: Girl, I just got back from a yoga retreat in Bali. Stoic guy smiles slightly. Sounds like a trip that changed you. Girl pauses, then opens up. It actually did. I realized how much I was holding on to stuff emotionally. And boom, now you're in a deeper conversation. The key here is curiosity, presence, calmness. You don't need to be loud to be heard. Speak with intent. Ask thoughtful questions. Listen deeply. That's what women remember. Chapter 6. Humor, the secret weapon, used wisely. Now, before you think Stoicism is all about being serious 24/7, let's clear that up. Stoic men can be funny. They just don't try too hard to be. Their humor is dry, witty, calm. It's not slapstick or try hard. It's confident humor that comes from not taking life or yourself too seriously. There's a difference between Guy 1, knock knock, who's there? Lettuce who? Let us go out sometime. Get it? And Stoic guy: She says she's a terrible cook. He pauses, looks serious, and says, So you're saying your lasagna is a threat to national security? It's subtle, calm, funny, and it works because it's unexpected. Stoic humor is all about timing and delivery. It's never desperate for attention, and that's what makes it powerful. Also, don't underestimate the power of self-deprecating humor. When used sparingly, it shows you're comfortable with yourself. Example: She asked if I could cook. I told her I once made toast so badly the smoke alarm filed a restraining order. It's charming because you're poking fun at yourself without losing confidence. That balance, irresistible. Chapter 7. The magic of boundaries and why they make you attractive. Okay, time for a big one. Boundaries. Most guys lose women not because they're bad guys, but because they lack boundaries. They say yes to everything, cancel plans to be available, accept disrespect, over-explain, over-apologize. Basically, they become a walking doormat in the name of being nice. But being nice isn't the same as being respected. Stoic men set clear boundaries, not out of anger or ego, but out of self-respect. Example: If she flakes on plans last minute, a Stoic man doesn't send a 3-paragraph text rant. He also doesn't beg for another chance. He simply responds, All good, let's catch up another time. Short, clear. No drama, and guess what? That calm response sends a powerful message. I value myself. I'm not here to chase or tolerate flaky behavior. Here's another example. She constantly teases you in a way that crosses the line. Instead of laughing nervously or getting upset, a Stoic man says, You know, I'm all for jokes, but I don't let people talk to me like that. Boom, boundary, respect. And what happens next? She either steps up or steps out. Either way, you win, because a woman can only truly fall in love with a man who respects himself. And boundaries? That's self-respect in action. Chapter 8. The night I learned rejection doesn't kill you. Confidence in saying so what. Let me take you back to a night that changed everything for me. It was a Friday, I was 22, and I had just watched a motivational video that made me feel like I was invincible. You know the type? Epic background music, dramatic voice saying, Your fears are lies, go after what you want. So I put on my best button-up shirt, did the cologne overdose thing that every clueless guy does in his early 20s, and went to a lounge with a couple of buddies. And there she was, the most confident, radiant woman in the room. She wasn't just pretty, she had that energy, like she knew exactly who she was. Now, normally, I'd do the usual, glance, maybe circle around, and then end up doing absolutely nothing while pretending I wasn't interested. But not this night. Fueled by YouTube confidence and overpriced cologne, I walked straight up to her. I said, "Hey, I don't normally do this, but you seem like someone I'd regret not meeting." She looked me dead in the eye, smiled politely, and said, "That's sweet, but I'm not really looking to meet anyone tonight." Now, this is the moment where most guys crumble. Feel that inner punch. That voice says, "Told you not to try. Told you she's out of your league." But something odd happened. I didn't feel crushed. I smiled and said, "Fair enough. Thanks for being honest. Hope you have a good night." And I walked away. That's it. No drama, no overthinking, no spiral. And my friends, their jaws were on the floor. Not because I got rejected, but because I didn't take it personally. That night taught me a lesson that Stoicism had been whispering all along. Rejection isn't about you. It's about them, their mood, their day, their life. A confident man doesn't fear rejection. He expects it sometimes. He respects it. And then he moves on without losing 1 ounce of his value. Women aren't attracted to a man who's perfect. They're drawn to a man who can take a no and still smile like he's got a whole life to live. Chapter 9. The silent power of presence. She feels it without you saying a word. Have you ever sat across from someone who made you feel calm? Like their energy wasn't racing? They weren't distracted by their phone? They weren't trying to prove anything? They were just there. Present. Real. That's presence. And it's one of the most underrated things a man can master. Let me tell you about Nick. Nick isn't the loudest in the room. He's not flashy. In fact, most people overlook him at first glance. But within minutes of talking to him, people lean in. Women feel safe around him. Heard, understood. Why? Because Nick doesn't fake attention. He gives it. One night, a group of us were at a friend's gathering. There was this girl, Anna, who was surrounded by guys trying to impress her. One was talking about his 6-figure crypto account. Another was bragging about how many countries he'd been to. But Nick? He stood a few feet away, sipping his drink, just watching the conversation. At one point, Anna wandered over to Nick and made a comment about how exhausting small talk was. Nick smiled and said, "Yeah, people say a lot when they're afraid of silence." Boom. That one line hit different. And from that moment on, they were locked in conversation for hours. No gimmicks, no pickup lines, just calm energy, eye contact, subtle humor, and genuine interest. Presence is powerful because it makes people feel like they matter. And in a world where everyone's yelling to be noticed, a man who's calm and grounded, that's magnetic. Chapter 10. The time I almost lost her and what it taught me about control. I want to tell you something I've never admitted before. There was a girl I once fell hard for. Let's call her Elise. She was different, wildly smart, charming, made me laugh till I cried. We started dating, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I didn't need to impress someone. But then, I got scared. Not scared of her, scared of losing her. So I started doing everything I thought would keep her. Over-texting, over-explaining, saying yes when I wanted to say no, letting little things slide just so she'd stay happy, and slowly I became someone else. I wasn't grounded. I wasn't calm. I was reactive, needy, panicked at the idea of losing what I thought made me whole. One night she looked at me and said, "I miss the guy I first met." That hit like a freight train. And here's the Stoic truth I learned from it. You can't control how someone feels about you. You can only control who you are. The more you try to grasp someone tightly, the more they slip away. So I stopped. I took a step back. I got honest with myself. I rediscovered who I was without trying to be perfect for her. And she noticed. We didn't end up together, but we parted with respect. And I walked away knowing I never wanted to lose myself again just to keep someone else. So if you're trying to make a woman fall in love with you, stop trying to force it. Instead, become someone who's in love with himself, not in a narcissistic way, but in a grounded, humble, powerful way. That's the man she falls for. The man who's not afraid to lose her, because he knows he'll never lose himself. So what's the takeaway from all this? It's not about tricks. It's not about lines. And it's definitely not about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming the most grounded, most authentic, most powerful version of yourself. A version of you who doesn't chase, doesn't beg, and doesn't crumble at the first sign of rejection. A man who walks into a room and doesn't need attention, because his presence speaks louder than words. A man who isn't desperate for love, but becomes the kind of man love is drawn to. That's the Stoic way. You don't try to control people, you master yourself. You don't impress with noise, you connect with calmness. And you don't lose yourself in someone else. You bring yourself to the table fully and let her meet you. So if you've ever felt like you had to fake confidence, if you've ever felt like you had to win a woman over, like it's a game, let that go. Because the moment you become enough for you is the moment she'll start to wonder what it is about you that feels so rare, so different, and so damn magnetic. This isn't about getting any woman. This is about becoming the kind of man that the right woman never forgets. And trust me, that kind of man, he doesn't just make her fall in love, he makes her never want to leave. Thanks for watching. And remember, calm is your superpower. Stay grounded, stay true, and keep showing up as you. We'll see you in the next one. See you.